Hi folks, how you doing? It's Mitch from Hard Intentions. That's Hard Intentions YouTube. Hardintentions.com is our website. If you're watching this, I'd encourage you to please subscribe and like it. Appreciate that very much. I have a good time talking to you people here, telling stories about prison people seem to be interested in. And I want to thank you for all positive comments, encouragement, inspiration. People say that I inspire them. Well, you know what, man? I get a lot of inspiration from the comments I get. It lets me know I'm on track, doing the right thing. I do sell t-shirts on my website. This is one of the new ones that we got. It's called the Hammer Drop. You guys have seen it. There she is. This is in black. Right? And here's the front. We got our logo in the front. Hard Intentions. I don't know what's up with that camera. It's a little fuzzy. Anyway, that's our shirts, folks. There we go. That's one. We also have some other stuff here. What do we got? Oh yeah, this is our logo shirt. It's in the back, right? Then we also have the same thing on the front. Hard Intentions logo shirt. Then of course we got our Naughty Biker shirt. Naughty as in not work. Same deal, right? Yep, we got the logo in the front. Then we also have tank tops, and we have some V-necks for chicks. This one's in black. We do have some of these in red. And then on the back, we have this. Hard Intentions. Some guys actually said they would wear that. So that one's for chicks. We got a couple different style V-necks. Some of them are on the front. These are on the back. And we also have tank tops with the Skull and Roses design. I can't put them on my YouTube channel yet because I don't have enough subscribers. So I thought I'd flash them. Excuse me. So, discipline's a motherfucker. One thing I got an issue with out here is food. I love to fucking eat. So I'm going to the gym now, trying to do a little workout, burn them calories off. But you got to remember, like the last 15 years of my prison term, it got bad. The food was just hideous, man. Like Mexican food, Italian food used to be the best shit in the world. You get a dinner when they had Mexican food and Italian food in prison, you got full. Especially in prisons like Tracy, man, the food was good. Vacaville, food was great, I got down to Donovan, the new prisons, they cook the food, freeze it, send it over to the yard a few days later, thaw it out, warm it up, and serve it to you, and it's just straight shit. Prison industry took over all the food. At one time, when I went to prison, every prison has a food manager, right? They get a budget every year. And that budget is to buy food, period. And I remember one time they had a little lunch strike in Tracy. And the food in Tracy was outstanding. But the lunches, yeah, they weren't that bad. But guys were pissing and moaning about it. And PIA wanted better lunches. So she put up a memorandum. It said, look, she said, I get $2.42 a day per inmate to buy food for you guys, and I do the best I can. She was pretty decent. She fed us pretty good. I mean, we had spare ribs, we had steak once a month, we had pork chops. She did a good job feeding us. But now, the food's horrible. When they have Mexican food or Italian, spaghetti shit, it's not even spaghetti anymore. It's just garbage. The ground meat they use in that, it's 40% chicken, 40% soybean, and 40% beef. And it's just ground up like that pink slime they were pissing and moaning about years ago. That's what it looks like. It's fucking horrible. And I worked as a cook for a long time. Last few years I was in prison, and you would fill that pot up with that ground shit. And when you cook it, there's a spout at the bottom of that pot. You pull that spout and drain off, You got to put a little colander under there so none of the meat gets out. But about half of that shit cooks down into grease, and they just drain it right into the drainage, right into the sewer lines. It's just nasty, nasty shit. So even when the food was decent, guys were always hungry because you only get a certain amount of food. And if you're out driving iron and working and shit, you're hungry. You want to eat. So, like when I was in Vacaville, the food was pretty good. I worked on the back dock of the kitchen one time, and we had this guy, Marcelli, worked out in the Yard Shack canteen. Now, the Yard Shack canteen, they got sodas, ice cream, chips, candy bars, all that bullshit. You go buy ducats on the canteen. They don't do this anymore. Nowhere I know of, maybe Tracy. Each ducat had 20 little squares on it. Each square's worth a nickel. It's worth $1. Each ducat's worth $1. So then you go to the canteen, the Yard Shack canteen. Marcelli worked in there. You buy something, they cut off however many squares it's worth, or if it, take the whole dollar if it costs $1, whatever. But anyway, they have a refrigerator in there. It's like a grocery store or a Speedy Mart, whatever, they got sodas in there. But there's a little extra room in there. So we had a friend of ours, Gary worked in the kitchen. He was a big shot in the kitchen, so he would bring stuff out there and we'd keep in the freezer. And sometimes it was for us and sometimes it was for him and sometimes it was for both of us, We made burritos out there. We had a hot plate out there. We had a righteous skillet, with a hood on it, and we'd make burritos and bring the burrito mix out there, cheese, and I say burrito mix. It's got the meat, the beans, the onions, bell peppers, all that shit. It's all in a bag, ready to roll. All you got to do is roll them burritos up with the cheese and then toast them in a hot plate. So Dennis, Dirty Dennis, he's passed away since he got out and passed away in 2002, I think. Anyway, he's working out there. I'm a celly. I'm working in the kitchen. So we had some tuna in there that this guy, he worked in the kitchen. He took care of us, but we'd keep his shit in there. And he's like, hey, don't fuck with this tuna. It's for a project he had going. I'm like, yeah, cool, So I had this friend of mine. He used to hang around the Yard Shack. I knew him, older cat. And I was a youngster then. I think he was like 86, So he had a friend. I forgot the guy's name. He was kind of a creepy dude. Now, this friend of mine, he was a dope cooker. He was manufacturing methamphetamine, So, I kind of liked him. He had some interesting stories and shit, but he was in and out, drugs, right? This guy was hanging around him, man. I think he's just kind of a leech. He was hoping, I think, that he would parole and they'd hook up and he'd come up off this dude, this friend of mine. So we told him, hey, we let him hang out in the Yard Shack canteen, and if Dennis wasn't there and I wasn't there, they would still be allowed to go in there. Excuse me. Because, that's just the way it is. The other guys that worked in there, they knew that this dude was my friend. So anyway, we told him, hey, don't fuck with that tuna, It's in the fridge. Yeah. So this friend of mine's buddy, he fucked with it. He ate some of that tuna. And, dude, this is a big can of tuna. It wasn't, the big fucking cans, right? He opened it and ate some of it. So I'm like, man, Marcelli told me that. I was like, what the fuck, man? You serious? And then, we jacked him about it. Like, hey, man, what the fuck, dude? And he acted like, oh, no big deal. Sorry. Yeah, okay. It ain't your shit. You don't fuck with it. That's the rules in prison. If it ain't your fucking shit, you don't fuck with it. So, anyway, I was like, yeah, all right. And then my celly kept pissing and moaning about it for a while. Like, yeah, that son of a bitch, Stuff like that happens in prison. You got to remember, it's a small society and it's boring and there's not a lot to do. So when shit like that happens, people piss and moan about it for a while, So, all right, This dude's a little older. I don't want to beat him down. I mean, fuck, But I want to teach him a lesson. So I work in the back dock of the kitchen. In Vacaville, they got a big ice box room. It's big. It's like 20 feet deep, 10 feet wide, maybe 12 feet wide, And they got these big metal trash cans, and they dump all the slop from each meal in these metal trash cans. And our job is in the mornings to load them up. We stack them out. We load, two guys lift them on a pallet, then two guys lift them into a big slop truck. And then the slop truck takes it out. Then we wash the trash cans out, wash the dock off, keep it clean, right? That's our job. So they had Mexican food. I think every Saturday we'd have Mexican food. You know, they have certain meals every day of the week. Like every Saturday's Mexican food, every Friday's fish, every so on and so forth, right? So I came in Monday and the Mexican food was still, you know, because in the weekend the slop truck doesn't come. And I said, hey, just leave that can over there in the corner, you know. It was full of corn and rice and beans and some kind of chili Colorado shit, had a little meat in it, you know. And them cans, even though it's a cold room, that shit would start fermenting, you know, and get a foam on it, right? So, yeah, I told the guy, I said, just leave that can in the corner, we'll dump that one later. And I let that can sit in there for about a week and a half, and it started foaming up, you know, fermenting. It's a big trash can full of food, you know. So then I came up on some shit, right? Burritos, you know. So I rolled up some burritos at work, took them out the yard shack to cook them up, you know. And I scooped out some of that shit out of that fucking trash can. That food that been sitting there, that Mexican food, right? Fermenting. And I made a burrito with it, you know. Along with the other ones. Went out to the yard. I wrapped each burrito in foil, you know, aluminum foil. You know, I had a route to get shit out of the kitchen, and I ran out to the yard shack, you know, get my workout on shit. Passed out burritos to everybody. Gave that dude that burrito, out of that slop bucket burrito, right? Sat there and watched him eat it. I said, yeah, it's good, huh? You like that? Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. He's eating it. He's like, yeah, it's good, yeah. I said, cool. I went and worked out, you know, and next day, I'll go out to Yard Shack, you know. There's my buddy, you know, my friend. I said, hey, where's your pal at, man? He goes, oh, man, that dude's sick, man. That dude is throwing up. He had to go down to sick call, you know. He was just puking and shit. And then a couple days go by, you know, and he comes back out to the yard. And I go, hey, man, what's up, man? I heard you're sick, you know. He goes, yeah, man, this dude's eyes were still flaming yellow and just, he looked pale. He was fucked up, you know. I said, oh, yeah, okay. I said, man, you sick, huh? Yeah, sick, food poisoning. I ate something bad, you know. I said, all right, cool. So I go back to work, man, and then we had scrambled eggs. Same thing. Trash can full of, you know, I put it in the corner, scrambled eggs. Now, eggs, you know, they don't last too long. So I got a bunch of scrambled eggs, you know, with onions and peppers and all that shit, little fried potatoes. And I made some, like, breakfast burritos with cheese, all that shit. And I took that fucking eggs out of that thing and I rolled him one up. Another slop bucket burrito. Went out the yard, passed everybody out burritos, gave him the slop bucket burrito. And he's like, yeah, same thing. I said, hey, you like that? Yeah, it's great, man. Yeah, it's great. I said, hey, you need a little food, you know, since you've been puking so much lately. Yeah. Same thing, man. Next day, I say, where's your pal at, man? He says, man, that dude's been puking, man. Just same, got sick again. So I go, all right, cool. That's fucked up, you know. So I go in and my cell, he's older than me, you know. He got busted in 1970, 71. And we're talking about this guy, you know, and he goes, yeah, man, he's fucking with me. You know, we go in, we smoke a little weed during count, and he's all, yeah, man, that guy died. I go, what? You know, I'm on the top rack, you know. He goes, yeah, that guy died, man. You know, what are you going to do? I said, fuck him, you know. I can't prove shit. He goes, well, you know, guys might tell, you know. I said, only buddy knows is you and me. But, you know, he started laughing and shit. He goes, yeah, that guy didn't die, man, but don't do that again because he could die, you know. He'd keep doing that to him and he could die. I said, all right. I said, that dude had that coming, man, for stealing that tuna, you know. He's all, yeah, I know. You know, we got to laugh out of it. Every time we smoke weed, we laugh about it. But when that dude come back to the yard from being sick, you know, I got in his face a little bit, and I said, hey, man, I said, you got sick again, huh? He's all, yeah. I said, you like them burritos I brought out here, huh? He's all, And he looked at me. I said, yeah, them burritos are good, weren't they? I let him know, hey, I'm the one that made you sick, motherfucker. That's my way of saying, hey, I said, them burritos are good, huh? And he looked at me all kind of woo. I said, look, man, don't come in this fucking yard shack. And, I got on him about the tuna. That's when I brought up the tuna. I said, don't come in this yard shack, man, and fuck with our food again. Because next time you ain't just going to get sick. So that's how, you don't fuck with a man's food in prison. But that's a little food story. And then when I was in Tracy, I was working as a cook, and I was the only white cook. This sergeant got me the job. She's like, hey, man, they need some white cooks back there, man. She worked in the kitchen up front, in the scullery and the dining halls, and none of her guys could get any kickdowns because there was nobody to kick down. So anyway, I got a job as a cook, and it was pretty cool. And everybody had a little hustle going on. And, you can't cry about, a lot of guys cry, oh, that dudes are stealing this, and those guys got that shit coming, and we don't get nothing. I don't like that shit. I like to find my own way through a situation. So, like, when I'm working in the kitchen and I see guys got hamburgers going, fried chicken, whatever going on, that's cool. That's their gig, right? I'm going to find mine. So anyway, I was a cook on the grill. We would fry pork chops, steaks, hamburgers on the grill. What else? Chicken we put in the oven, baked it. The ribs they baked, shit like that. So I hooked up with these youngsters out on the back dock. Now the back dock takes care of all the trash and all that kind of shit, So now the free staff cooks, they got cook 1, 2, 3. So the 3, he's the shot caller of the kitchen, not just of the grills and the operating kitchen. The food manager's actually the shot caller of the whole kitchen. But anyway, here's the cook 3. He's a Filipino guy, and he's from the Philippines, but he'd been in the Navy, So anyway, all the cooks there, all the free staff cooks, they were all Filipinos, man. They all been in the Navy. It was kind of a trip. Most of them are pretty cool, One of them was a submariner. I go, oh, you're a bubblehead, He's like, yeah, They were cool, but this one dude was an asshole. He was a cook 3. So what I used to do, I cook 100 hamburgers at a time on the grill, And, I cook steaks. I'd keep a couple down on one end of the grill, and I'd cut a little piece off, and I'd eat steak while I'm cooking, pork chops, same thing. And, but this black kid worked out on the back dock, man. He took care of the trash, and they would come in between each piece of hamburger or steak. There's a piece of paper, so you got to throw them in a trash can, while you're cooking. And then when no one was, eyes weren't on me, I'd take a stack. There's like 12 burgers in a stack, and I'd throw it in the trash can on top of the papers, and I keep going. I'd throw another stack. I'd throw, 30, 40, 50 hamburgers in there. And then the kid would come, this youngster in the back dock, and he'd take it away. Now, nobody's going to suspect some black dude working with some white dude, biker dude, black kid, It's kind of nonchalant, right? Nobody's going to really think we're teamed up, So he would come and get the trash can, pull the meat out, and then wrap it up in cellophane, so we could get it out, Steak, same way. Pork chop, same way, That's how we got meat out of there. Meat's a big deal. And back then we still had the little metal hot pots. They're about this big around, about that tall, They're good, You could cook meat in there. I would take macaroni noodles home, spaghetti noodles home, a little bit of tomato paste, whatever you cook in your cell, right? Onions. On my days off, I'd have a little spread in the cell, And so one night, man, the northerner Danny was cooking next to me, and he knew my game, But right in front of the grill was a butcher shop, and the lights are out, and you can't really see in there. And Danny tells me, he goes, don't do it. I go, what do you mean? I'm cooking, we're trying to be cool. I go, what are you talking about, Danny? And he goes, don't. He's got his head down, like, don't do it, man, don't do it, I go, what's going on? He goes, he's watching you, and the guy, so the cook 3, he was a prick, man. He's in the butcher shop, and he's huddled down in between the tables. There's a gap, like the top of the wall, then there's a window, and then the table. He was like spying on me from out there. So I I look around, I start acting suspicious, and I go, thanks, Danny, and I go like I'm making a move. This dude runs out of that butcher shop, and he grabbed that trash can, man. He dumps it out, and he's going through all the papers in there, from the in between the burgers. You got to figure we cooked 4,000 or 5,000 hamburgers, so and he's going through it. And I go, man, what are you doing? I'm cooking, flipping burgers, and I'm like, what are you doing there? I'm looking down at him. I said, hey, man, you ain't in the Philippines no more, man. You ain't got to scrounge around for food like that, buddy. I said, teach you how to do that over in Subic Bay. That dude got mad as a motherfucker, He got all mad. He looked at me like, yeah, motherfucker. I put all the shit back in there, all the papers back in there, put the trash can up. And as soon as he turned his back and walked away, I threw 2 stacks of hamburgers in there, Yeah. But, I mean, it's a cat and mouse game. And you get caught, you might get a ride up or whatever. But, yeah, it's just it's the way prison is, man. Look, they had free staff, including the warden in Tehachapi. They used to cut meat there. Now they cut the meat down in Mule Creek. Mule Creek PIA is taking over all the meat production for prison. That's why things are so fucked up. They took all the authority, like the food manager at Tracy. She could order meat from whoever she wanted to. She used all the local fucking farmers and meat packers and shit. They would donate pork ribs. They donated them ribs that we had for the prison. We had ribs like twice a month, man. They were great. So anyway, one time an ice cream truck, it was pretty good ice cream, it broke down right there on I-5 where Tracy's on I-5. And she heard about it and she contacted him. She bought all the ice cream on that truck because the truck was broke down. The ice cream was going to go bad, whatever. She bought it all. Sent a truck out there to unload it onto a truck and bring it into the prison. We had badass ice cream for like 2 months, Now, food managers don't have the authority to order food from whoever they want to anymore. They have to, anything, here's a state law, all right? This is how fucked up the state of California is. State law, anything the state uses, if prison industry makes it, they are obligated to buy it from the prison. All you guys going to college, state colleges, all that furniture, all the office furniture, all your student desks in your elementary schools, high schools, colleges, we made that shit. I made student desks for a year straight in Tracy. So, PIA, Prison Industry Authority, it's kind of a separate entity from the prisons, but it's still a state. It's weird, They get a budget based on what they manufacture for the state. So the more shit they manufacture, the more their homeboys they could get jobs, the more kickdowns they get. It's a fucking scandalous deal. Them student desks we were making, they sold them for more than you could buy them out of a catalog, and they were shitty. Everything the state makes is shit. All the office furniture we made in Corcoran was garbage. So anyway, PIA started realizing, look, man, there's a big market for food. All the little snacks we got in our lunches. We used to get Keebler cookies and snacks, trail mix shit. PIA started making all that shit. So no more good shit. It's all crap from PIA. Like the trail mix, they're buying these fucking dried out ass raisins. They're buying cookies from Mexico. I mean, it's a fucking joke, man. So anyway, the meat, it's just got, like I said, it's just garbage, man. It's horrible. But anyway, they used to cut meat in Tehachapi, and the scandal was they were local farmers were coming in there, ranchers, and having their cattle butchered at the prison, and the board was getting a fucking kickdown for doing it. I mean, that's the kind of shit that goes on in there. So I didn't feel bad about stealing some fucking food out of the kitchen when, at the end of the night, you got to figure you got 4,000 guys in a prison. What if 300 or 400 of them say, fuck dinner, I'm not going to dinner tonight? All that shit goes in the garbage. So I don't mind taking it. And plus, I figured I'm doing a life sentence and my family pays taxes, so fuck you. I'm taking what I want, you know. Uh, when I was in Donovan working as a plumber, last time I was there, uh, you know, it's free staff. Most of them know, hey, you go in the kitchen, there's food, you're going to come up. As long as they don't see it, they don't give a fuck. Half of them, even if they see it, they didn't care because it doesn't come out of their pocket. It's not, you know, their workers are happy, they're happy because a happy worker does good work. It's all good, right? That's a little kick down shit you get for being a plumber. Anyway, I got this new guy, you know. Lola says, hey, why don't you work with this guy for a while, you know, this and that. This guy's like super Protestant Christian dude, so he says, you know. So I tell him, look, I don't steal, you know. He says, all right. So what I mean by that is, as a plumber, I go in everybody's cell. You tell me, hey, my water don't work. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go to your cell and fix your water, right? I got to open the door, check your water, see which one don't work, then figure out why it don't work, then fix it. So what I mean is, when I tell this dude I don't steal, what I mean is, I'm not going to steal anything from any motherfucker's cell ever. And if I see it, somebody's stealing, I'm going to get in their shit, you know. If I'm working with someone who's stealing shit, I'm going to bust them up. So anyway, we're in the kitchen, right? Like, a couple weeks later, we're in the bakery fixing the drain. And they get these big number 10 cans of pineapples in there. Because they made pineapple upside down cake. It's really garbage, but you know, that's another story. So I slide one of them cans of pineapples in our fucking tool cart, you know, and roll out. And later on, we're back in the shop, right? And I pop the can. I'm eating this fucking, you know, I carry a plastic spoon. They sell, you gotta have a spoon. You gotta have your own spoons, plastic, hard plastic, you know. So I'm sitting there with my spoon. I'm eating this pineapple, you know. And the guy tells me, hey man, I thought you said you didn't steal. I said, I don't. He says, what do you call that? Points to this, you know, can of pineapple. What do you call that? I said, pineapple tidbits. He goes, you stole that. I said, no, I didn't steal that. He said, yeah, I saw you steal it. I said, no. I go, I don't steal. I go, look, motherfucker, anything the state owns belongs to me. I go, I'm doing a life sentence. I've been down, you know, 30-something years at a time. They tell me I've been down, whatever. And I go, my family pays fucking taxes. They feed me like shit. So anything the state has belongs to me. I'm going to eat it. You know, that's how it is. You know. But, yeah. So I got to tell you, man, one of the most scandalous things I did see towards the end of my career, which, you know, I worked in, when I was in CMC West, you know, guys were, you know, it's pretty common practice to steal out of the kitchen. But here's the deal. You steal the shit when everyone's fed. You make sure everyone gets fed. So now they don't have, the hamburgers are not hamburger. It's soybean burger chicken mix. They're garbage. They go from like this big to this big. I mean, they're nasty. But it's, you know, it tastes like a hamburger, kind of. And they have separated chicken, you know. They have, for some of the casserole dishes, they'll have, it's like chicken parts, you know, like pieces of chicken, all different shapes and sizes of chicken. And once in a while they'll have chicken on the bone, which I heard someone on one of these videos mention that, you know, chicken on the bone was the best thing you can get now in prison as far as protein goes. But it's just a leg and a thigh. It's nothing. So what really, and you know, back when I was all through the 80s and early 90s, chicken was like, yeah, they used to give you half a chicken when they had chicken. But like I said, we had steak, we had all kinds of shit. So for chicken on the bone to be the best thing you can get now, it's garbage. So I was working in the kitchen, man, and everything's a casserole dish now. So I get these gigantic pots, and they must hold, you know, 200 or 300 gallons of fucking slop, you know. They're huge kettles that you cook in. And you throw your chicken in there, you know, whatever it is, your burger ground up meat shit, you know, in there, and you cook that, and then you start adding your vegetables and all that shit. So once again, you know, I'm like the only white dude working in there, and you know, my thing is, once there's enough pans of food done, it's out there. Whatever's left, I'm gonna get my little shit, you know. I mean, I'm over trying to, you know, bring back steaks and all that, because it's just not happening. So once my kettle was potted up, you know, all the pans are out to the chow hall where it's going. I know that all the food's, and then I would uh, clean the kettle out and take out some shit and make up some cool shit and to take home back to the dorm, you know. You know, a few burritos for myself, my homies, you know, whatever. But these motherfuckers, now mind you, cigarettes are illegal now, but there's tobacco in there. It's $2 for a fucking cigarette. Pouch of tobacco could cost you $100, you know, bugler pouch. So these guys would steal, you know, right out of the pot, man, and fill the fucking pot up with water. You know, I mean, they get these 10-pound bags of that chicken parts, you know, and dude, they would steal them. I mean, straight out, and they would steal a lot of it. Send it back to the yard. They had a route, you know, whatever. They would get busted once in a while, more times than not. And then you got to figure if they get, just because the meat gets busted, it's not, once it leaves the kitchen like that, it's not going in the pot. So there goes all that meat's going to waste. But the bottom line is, I told these dudes, look, man, you're stealing out of these motherfuckers' mouths. Because on my days off, I go through that serving line and say they have some kind of like a chicken cacciatore shit, they call it. It's like a tomatoey sauce or some vegetable. It's all sauce. They put it over noodles. All sauce. Like maybe 1 or 2 pieces of meat in there. I go, you're fucking these dudes, you know? And I don't dig it. You know, that's all a guy got to look forward to pretty much nowadays in prison is the next meal, you know? And but I was like, dude, you're stealing right out of these guys' mouths. And then they take the meat, sell it, use it to buy cigarettes or dope, you know, the money. So made me pretty angry, because back in the day, if you did that shit, someone would kill you. Your own people would kill you for that. You take bags of meat back like that from that night's dinner, they'll kill you for that. Yeah. They told me, hey, that's just the way it is. So I got to the point where, you know what? This is a couple of years before I got out. It's about a year and a half, 2 years before. So I just made the decision, look, I either got to stab these motherfuckers or roll up out of here. So I got up out of the kitchen. I couldn't take it. I couldn't stand seeing it, you know. Now you go back, you know, back in the day, San Quentin, I seen dudes rolling 50 pounds of meat, 50-pound bags of rice, and they're pushing it to the fucking cell, but they're not taking it out of that night's dinner. That shit's coming out of a warehouse. You know what I'm saying? And I seen guys push fucking carts of food out like that, and the little Southsider cat, you know, was hooked up. And this is in the early days, you know, and the cop in the rotunda tells him, where you going with that shit? He tell him, man, fuck you, none of your business. And the cop got kind of like, you know, got in the guy, and he said, man, you fuck with my shit, I'll stab you. Told the cop that. And the cop just backed the fuck up off him because he knew he wasn't bullshitting, you know. That's how serious shit is, you know, back in the day. And now it's just, all these dudes are complaining about their food and shit, but they don't want to do nothing about it. So I was just, prison is really disappointing. I'm hoping that it's changed, you know, now that they let all of them dudes up out of the hole, that the food situation might get a little better, because, you know, it's going to take somebody standing up to change it. So now that I'm out, dude, I'm a fucking eating machine, so I gotta be a workout machine. Yeah, I mean, I like to eat, you know, I can't lie, and I like to cook, and you know, I'm just grateful to be back out here in the world doing this and able to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat. And I think right now I'm gonna run out and get some fucking chicken and fry it up for tonight's dinner, so when the old lady gets home from work, she can tell me what a great cook I am. Yeah. Hey, once again, really, people, I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. hitting that like button. I appreciate it. And all you guys who go to our website and buy t-shirts and stickers and art, I'm just really grateful. I really am. You guys are great. Thank you very much. And look, I have Instagram. It's Mitch Smiley 790. Somebody got at me about an income tax return and a tattoo of a Viking. I accidentally deleted a couple messages on my Instagram. If that was you, please get at me again. It was an accident. You guys take care of yourselves and just remember, man, fuck the dumb shit. You only live once in this fucking earth. Make the most of it. Whatever it is you do it fucking hard and do it strong. Thank you.